Bills Mafia, we are living in a moment of preparation. The energy behind the scenes at the Buffalo Bills is absolutely electric. Something big is brewing, and you don't want to miss it. But first, if you believe the Bills have what it takes to make it to the next Super Bowl, hit the like button. And if you're like me and have a red and blue heart and breathe Bills, subscribe to the channel and leave in the comments, "Go Bills, I believe." Now strap on your helmet, lace up your cleats, and put on your Bills jersey, and let's hit the field. A conversation, a decision, a moment that might define the season. And no, this isn't some clickbait headline. This is real, straight from inside the team. If you thought you knew what was coming next, think again. Because what just came to light could have massive implications for the future of the Bills, and every fan needs to hear this. Let's break it all down. Behind closed doors, inside the walls of the Bills facility, a discussion took place that might alter the trajectory of this team. Key figures within the organization were involved, voices that carry serious weight when it comes to shaping the franchise. And from what we've gathered, the atmosphere was charged, serious, intense, maybe even a little heated. This wasn't just another routine team meeting. It wasn't just about X's and O's or game day adjustments. This was bigger. Now, if you're wondering what this is really about, let's just say it revolves around decisions that will impact the Bills not just for the next few weeks, but potentially for seasons to come. There were discussions about roles, responsibilities, and expectations, about who needs to step up, who might be on thin ice, and what needs to change if this team wants to make a real push. And let's be honest, Bills Mafia, we've all seen moments this season where something just felt off. And apparently, those inside the organization feel the same way. What's particularly striking is how the conversations played out. Some of the biggest voices in the room were making it clear. No more excuses, no more missed opportunities, no more letting things slip away. The level of accountability being demanded, it's at an all-time high. And that means no one is untouchable. Players who were once considered staples, they might need to prove themselves all over again. Positions that seemed locked in, they could be shifting. And as for the leadership within the team, let's just say that the expectations have been raised to a whole new level. The message is clear. If you're not elevating your game, you're part of the problem. And that brings us to the real question. What does this mean moving forward? Is this the kind of wake-up call that leads to a dominant second half of the season? Or are we witnessing the early signs of a deeper shakeup? Because from what we're gathering, there are some serious moves being considered. Some that could surprise even the most die-hard fans. But let's flip this around. What do you think, Bills Mafia? Do you believe this kind of internal shakeup is exactly what the team needs? Or are we looking at a situation that could create more tension than results? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is your team. Your voice matters. Let's talk about it. And here's where things get even more interesting. Because from what we're hearing, this isn't just about fixing mistakes or tightening up execution. It's about redefining what this team is at its core. The Bills are at a crossroads, and the choices made in the coming weeks could dictate not just this season, but the franchise's long-term future. Some sources suggest that certain veterans are feeling the pressure more than ever. Names that once seemed untouchable are now being closely scrutinized. Every rep, every decision, every moment on the field is being evaluated with a different level of intensity. And that's not by accident. This coaching staff, this front office, they've sent a message loud and clear. The standard is the standard. And if you're not meeting it, you're either stepping up or stepping out. The expectation isn't just to compete, it's to dominate. And if that means making bold, difficult, even unpopular decisions, so be it. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Who exactly is on the hot seat? Who needs to show up in the biggest way to prove they belong in this team's future plans? One of the biggest question marks surrounds the offense. We've seen flashes of brilliance, but we've also seen moments of inconsistency that have cost the Bills dearly. And when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, a generational talent, a guy who could put the team on his back, you have to make sure every piece around him is functioning at the highest possible level. Are the playmakers stepping up enough? Are the game plans putting this team in the best position to win? And maybe the most important question, does the coaching staff trust the right people in the right moments? The defense, too, has had its battles. Injuries have been a factor, sure, but there are deeper questions being asked. Is the depth strong enough? Are the adjustments happening quickly enough? And most importantly, can this unit hold up when the season is on the line? One thing is for sure, whatever was discussed behind closed doors, whatever was said in those meetings, it wasn't just talk. Changes are coming. Some of them might be subtle, some of them might be seismic, but make no mistake, this is a moment that will define the Buffalo Bills moving forward. So let's put this back on you, Bills Mafia. If you were in that room, if you had a say in what happens next, what would you do? Who do you think needs to step up the most? And what's the one move that could push this team over the top? Hit the comments. Let's get this debate going, because one way or another, The Bills are about to make some noise. The only question is, will it be the kind that leads to a championship run? And let's not sugarcoat this, time is running out. The Bills don't have the luxury of waiting until next season to figure things out. The window to win is open right now, but every week that goes by without answers brings them one step closer to slamming it shut. That's why the conversations happening inside one Bills drive are so critical. They're not just about fixing problems for the next game. They're about making sure this team doesn't waste what could be their best shot at a Super Bowl. And here's something every fan needs to think about. Are the Bills actually built to win it all this year, or has something been missing from the very start? Let's start with the offense. There's no doubt that when Josh Allen is playing at his best, the Bills are nearly unstoppable. He's one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league, a guy who can make throws that few others in NFL history have even attempted. But football isn't just about highlight plays, it's about consistency. It's about execution. And this season, we've seen an offense that can look like the best in the league one week and then completely stall out the next. Why is that? Is it the scheme? The play calling? The supporting cast? That's exactly what this coaching staff is trying to figure out right now. And from what we're hearing, no one is safe from scrutiny. If you're not producing, you're on notice. That goes for receivers, running backs, offensive linemen, asterisk everyone's star. The Bills know they can't afford to waste another game with self-inflicted mistakes. And speaking of mistakes, let's talk about turnovers, because that's been one of the most frustrating aspects of this season. Josh Allen is a gunslinger. We know that. We love that. And honestly, it's what makes him special. But there's a fine line between aggressive and reckless, and when turnovers start stacking up, it puts the entire team in a hole that's tough to climb out of. That's something that has to be cleaned up. And you better believe it was a major talking point behind closed doors. But here's where things get really interesting. What about the defense? This unit has been one of the Bills' biggest strengths for years, but injuries and inconsistencies have made things much more complicated this season. And let's be real, when you're going up against the best offenses in the league, you have to be able to get stops in critical moments. You have to be able to close out games. That hasn't always happened this year, and that's why this defense is under the microscope. There are questions about depth, about rotations, about who should be getting the most snaps. And then there's the big picture question. Is this defense championship caliber, or does it need a serious shakeup to get there? Because the Bills don't just want to be good. They don't want to just make the playoffs. They want to be a team that dominates, that imposes its will, that sends a message every time it steps on the field. And right now, the people in charge are trying to figure out if this current group can be that team. Now, let's talk about coaching. Because let's be honest, when a team underperforms, the heat isn't just on the players, it's on the entire staff. Is the game planning setting this team up for success? Are the in-game adjustments happening fast enough? Is there a sense of urgency in every decision being made? Because if not, that's a huge problem. Some fans have already started asking tough questions about the coaching staff, and from what we're hearing, those same questions are being asked internally. We're at the point in the season where there's no more room for error. The teams that figure things out now, that make the right adjustments, that find ways to win even when